Hello. This is an elaboration video from my article I posted the other day, which had loads and loads and loads of useful information for those just generally trying to get healthier and, as a consequence, primarily get your body into a fat burning machine. Um, Unfortunately, no one gives a fuck and no one wants to read it, so I thought I'd do a little video of it. Really, how do you get your body to burn fat all the time? Burn fat sat down, burn fat in your sleep, burn fat at your desk at work. How do you do that? Burning any energy is, well, losing fat is burning fat for energy. So how do we get to do that? Primarily, we use sugar and carbohydrates for energy because it's an easier source to break down, and our body always decides to do it. If you eat carbohydrates and you're focusing on fat loss, you really have to work on low intensity cardio for quite a long period of time. So you're not stressing your body out too much. Your body's got time to break down fat. So say hitting the bike for half an hour plus, the longer the better. Something low intensity like uphill walking or rowing or swimming. You can get into a fat burning state in other ways as also whilst fat is present. But generally, if you're at work and you're doing general stuff and you're eating sugars, fruit, any type of sugar, if you live on a carbohydrate diet, especially how sugar's snuck into everything, it makes it so difficult to do. So how do you get your body to burn fat for energy all the time? Well, you remove sugar and you up your fat intake. So you might believe that adding fat is going to make you fat. It's completely misleading. Sugar is essentially what's going to make you fat. So the accumulation of sugar that's snuck in everywhere ultimately builds up. We store it as carbohydrates. We eat far too much than we burn off, so then we store it as fat, and then we continue to eat it and not burning it off, and continues to go up and up and up. If you look at even what you would class as a health drink or a smoothie, I think I read the other day there was 18 teaspoons of sugar in one of them naked smoothies. So people are drinking them, think they'd be healthy. Yeah, it comes along with more nutrients, it's better, but you're eating 18 teaspoons in sugar in one drink. So it's snuck in everywhere. It's very clever. You've got to avoid it. So the basic principle is only get your carbohydrates from sources like, especially if you're transitioning. Again, you can read the article to find out the best way to transition. Go to longlifehealth.net. But in general, whilst you're transitioning, your only source of carbohydrates want to come from vegetables. And then you want to up your fat intake massively. So once you do that, and you feel you have a few rough days as you're coming off sugar, well, once you do that, your body's forced to burn fat for energy, and you're constantly giving it that. You're not spiking your insulin anymore, so you don't crash throughout the day. You're sat there, because you've got no sugar to burn, you're burning fat all the time. And you can focus so much more because you've got a consistent source of energy. So whether that's being the energy it's burning and using that you've already got stored, so wherever you've got fat stored, in your face, in your body, in your ass, wherever, it's going to be burning that for energy as you function. It's going to be a consistent thing, so you're not going to crash and you can focus a lot better. So have moderate protein. Don't overdo the protein to compensate, because that in turn can end up being converted into sugar. So eat dark green leafy vegetables. Have moderate protein, good protein sources. Again, you can find all this online on my site and stuff, the best protein sources, or message me for an ideal shopping list. And generally, eat 60 to 70% of your intake. You don't have to count calories or nothing, but just rough guide through fat, healthy fat sources. So you want to be raping avocados. You want to be having a shitload of avocados, walnuts, macadamia nuts. And then you want to have grass-fed butters like Kerrygold is the easiest one to get hold of. Then you want, it comes a lot in really, because the only food you can actually eat that's fatty is the nuts and the avocados and a few other things like fish. But in general, it comes through the cooking process. So be generous in the cooking process. Have a spoonful of coconut oil, whack some butter in and saute your vegetables after you've boiled them for about a minute or so. Boom, that's the base of your diet. Fat's highly calorific, so it goes a lot further as an energy source. That way, once you do that, you remove the sugar, you up the fat, you moderate your protein, you eat that, you're forced to become a lot healthier because you're forced to eat actual real food. After a few rough days, you'll be a fat burning machine. And then if you add other things, which again, if you want to find out more, go to my website or look at other podcasts, but you can add stuff like intermittent fasting, just restricting your eating window. Don't malnourish. Definitely not malnourishing, because it's bad. You are nourishing, but you're just restricting the window in which you eat your daily amount. Many benefits to intermittent fasting. And you can also exercise. So exercise on top of reducing your sugars and upping your fat intake. Not only are you sat at your desk burning fat, but if you do all that, you become like literally a fat burning machine. So consider that. If you want to know everything you need to know coming off sugar and getting into a fat burning state all the time, so many benefits. And you know, after 2 weeks or so, you can start to reintroduce some forms of sugar in fruits and yogurts and sweet potatoes and butternut squashes and possible other sources. But in general, if you want to know more, go to longlifehealth.net and read the article if you can be fucked. If not, message me personally and I can send you some shit. So